Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm gonna be giving you part 3 of what if Naruto was too advanced for its age. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, stay in tune for Anime King and Anime King 3. I'm gonna be posting a new episode on each and every one of them tonight guys. So stay tuned for those and I hope you guys enjoy. Remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button. Link will be down in the description, and join Anime King 2 and Anime King 3 and enjoy all the channels. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, as Naruto was being watched by Team 2, they became quick friends with him rather quickly, as Naruto joined in on their training session, as their sensei started to help Naruto as well, with his tree walking and also other areas, as Naruto chakra was too dense to perform the normal clone jutsu, so Yugao suggested the shadow clone jutsu, which Naruto was able to do as she was shocked by that, as she thought about something her father once told her. Within a time skip, as Naruto was just watching the moon as she came out. She wanted Naruto as a rival, as her father told her about when he was in the Anvu and he also met this younger recruit than him, Kakashi Hatake. The both of them becoming a slight rival improved their skills as she asked Naruto to become a rival. Naruto was shocked by that, given that he was 6 years old. The next morning the both of them went at it. As Naruto had removed his weights, he was a lot faster, but she was still over him. After all, she was 14 and he was just 6 years old. But that would just continue to help them grow. As the group continued to watch over Naruto, they were inside when Naruto was doing his final workout for the day, when he was suddenly attacked. Yes, a stone group came there. The Tsuchikage knew that he could not win a war against Minato Namikaze, but if he had his son, yes, the man would have to fulfill all of his demands. So that is what he intended to do. As Naruto was out there all alone, as the team was trapped inside, as Naruto ended up escaping, used Shadow Clone and a win, Sunshin surprised Aoba when Naruto used to win Sunshin, as he had his elemental affinity in that moment. They didn't have time for that though, but fighting was still going on outside. When they finally get a chance to go out there, they saw all the Chunins on the ground, as Itachi was there, as Naruto had known the man, along with his big brother Kakashi, as he saw the both of them as a bigger brother. With that, he was safe. The rest of the time passed as Minato and Kushina came back, as Aoba told them what happened. Well, Minato about the part about Naruto using Wind Elemental Affinity in his Sunshin. Minato was shocked by that as he was so proud. His boy just kept on growing and growing. We then had another time skip as Kushina brought Naruto to pick out his supplies, as he was going to be starting academy next week. As Naruto found out Neji was going to be starting next week as well. He was a bit nervous, but he was focused, as he intended to get as strong as possible, as he also helped Yugao out by placing the gravity seal on her. After all, she said it wouldn't be good for a rival to have one, and she didn't have one. Naruto had to remind himself again that he was 6 years old, but he simply shrugged it off. So yeah guys, that was basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across to the PlayStation sector for yourself. So what is to begin this new episode? We begin this episode with Naruto outside, as he had read the book, and he was going to be performing his first D rank wind jutsu to expel a gust of breeze from the mouth. As he did what the book told him, he had to use his wind against a small rock, saying that if he used it against common leaf or something like that could blow in the wind, it wouldn't make any sense. He started to gather as he felt the wind nature chakra flowing up into his body. As he calmed himself, he focused on chakras. He felt it circulating through his system like a breeze. As Naruto opened his eyes, he slowly started to go through the hand signs needed. As he released it, but nothing happened. Naruto was confused. Did he not use enough chakra? He tried again and again and again. At the third try, he felt breeze coming through his mouth. A smile came on his face. As he knew what he was doing wrong, he needed to use more chakra. As he started to gather up a large amount of chakra before expelling it. The rock in front of him was blown away as Naruto released a mighty gust. But the rock was not the only thing. A tree was yanked from his mother garden and thrown away, tearing through the little plants. Naruto completely froze at that sight. His mother had come to love gardening, and she had a beautiful garden which he just sent a tree into, destroying part of it. He remembered how angry his mother was when his father had accidentally stepped on a plant of hers. He was terrified, but part of him was happy because he realized he just did a win style. Great breakthrough, as that was a more developed version of what he was trying to do. Seeing that he produced a gust, that must be it, as that was a C rank level, as it brought a smile to his face. Nevertheless, he was terrified as hell, as he remembered his mother throwing kunai at his father, but since his father was way fast, they weren't able to get him. But he was not fast as his father. Well, she wouldn't do that to him, right? He was her son. Or would she? He then heard Minato's voice, as he announced the arrival. Hearing his father, Naruto decided to scare him, as he decided to keep what he did to himself at the moment, as he flashed in a Sunshin, using the wind chakra. But Minato was a Hokage, aka the strongest ninja in the village, so he already sensed the wind chakra build up. As Minato moved out of the way, Naruto appeared. Huh? He looked around. His father wasn't there, but he trying to scare me, Naruto-kun. Naruto screamed as he jumped away, as he saw his father right behind him with a smile. Dad? Wait, how did you know what I did before I even appeared? Little did Naruto know his sunshine was different from others, seeing that he added wind chakra to it. Well, he didn't really know. Minato could sense it, the burst, and the build-up. I sensed you coming, that was all. Why were you trying to scare me? Is that what I would like to know, little fellow? Do you really think you would scare the Hokage, Naruto-kun? Said Minato. Okay, I did already scare you once, on a sunshine behind you, said Naruto. But tell me, how would you know where I'd be appearing? I mean, the sunshine was supposed to be an evasive technique. Well, Naruto-kun, a normal sunshine would be an evasive technique, but what you did wasn't a regular one. As Naruto looked at him, Minato realized that he didn't understand. What do you mean normal sunshine? I thought there was only one kind. Aoba-sensei taught it to me while he was here. If Naruto was thinking, he would realize that every time he read the book, he started to focus on the wind chakra, and he was subconsciously forcing the wind chakra into his sunshine. So you mean to tell me that you don't know you're using wind chakra with the sunshine? Said Minato, trying to make him, well, be enlightened. Naruto's eyes widened. He felt like an idiot now, just realizing that. Seeing the look on his face, son, don't berate yourself. Using elemental manipulation at your age is a rather astonishing feat. But tell me, son, how do you even know about wind chakra, yet alone making wind ninjutsu? As Minato was still ecstatic that Naruto was able to perform this at just 6 years old. Naruto, for his part, remembered his father berating him about training in high level ninjutsu before going to the academy, that he needed to take it easy, and he, well, didn't listen. His father did not know about his books. Well, when you and mom were away, I went to the library and I found a book written by a famous jonin back in the stand. The book had a seal on to check if the person was a wind element user, and when I picked it up, it checked me and it opened. I've been using it ever since. Naruto lowered his head, waiting for the punishment, thinking that his father was going to be angry. But his father placed a hand on his head and started off with his hair. Looking up through his strand of hair, Naruto was confused. What? Were you expecting a punishment for disobeying my order, Naruto-kun? Don't be. I laid that order to prevent any serious damage involving high-level ninjutsu. But since you went through the book, you studied, look what you needed. After all, you had to perform tree walking first, but I'm sure it said water walking as well. But it doesn't matter, said Minato with a smile. You practice and you see what suited you. Be proud of yourself, Naruto-kun. You're growing, and soon, you will be a great shinobi. I can pretty much see it, Minato said. As he could see Naruto becoming a genius like Itachi, he could already see glimpses of it. Now thinking about the Uchiha genius, Minato was worried about him. It's been some time since Itachi was upgraded to head of the Anbu captain, and according to the head of the Anbu division, Itachi seemed to be getting somewhat bored of doing almost suicide missions. Minato strongly believed that putting a 13-year-old in Anbu was pure madness. Anbu could be stressful to say the least. Few hours of sleep every day, constant lock-in war and dead zone battle. For Anbu, you always need experience. It was vital for you to survive. Itachi told Minato some time ago that he saw great potential in Naruto being a future shinobi. Now, Minato figured that Naruto was the main reason why Itachi the genius, never become a Newton or something like that. Itachi was considered a genius among shinobis. He had advanced growth to say. Graduated the academy 7 years old, being Chunin by the age of 10. He was the reason why Naruto did not go to the academy at an early age. Taking it easy sometime helped more than push up to the limit. The mind has to have time to grow, so that it wouldn't backfire and make the ninja snap, losing his sanity in the process. As Itachi had even cursed in front of him, as he told him that Shinobi's Ukage Genkai and heritage are too damn proud. They don't even take the time to study or train anymore. Minato knew that he was talking about his own clan, especially when he said they're all about copying. Now looking at Naruto, he remembered what he talked to the third about. That was mind, the intellect. Every little students must have their own study session for them to understand before they learn, or at least have some attendance at Konoha Public Library. Sometimes the search for information can help the mind grow and progress really quickly. For Naruto's part, he was watching his father as he was lost in thought. Naruto also had something on his mind. Dad? What? Oh, sorry about that. Now tell me, Naruto-gun, how much wind chakra usage do you know? Or more importantly, is Wind Shunshin the only technique you know how to do? Actually, I didn't know I made the Wind Shunshin, but I do have another technique I learned from the book. Well, actually I didn't quite get it. You see, the technique called Wind Style Wind Burst is a D rank level jutsu, but because my control is not up to water walking level, I couldn't do it completely. But as I read the book, it said that that technique is a weaker version of the Wind Style Great Wind Breakthrough, with the difference being more chakra in the Great Wind Breakthrough. So after trying the first one at least 10 times, I grew tired and I decided to just add more chakra. And well, I kind of did the Wind Style Great Wind Breakthrough. But there's one problem, Dad, and I don't think that Mom would be as thrilled as you are right now. Wait, what do you... Minato turned around. It started to make sense. Naruto-kun, answer me truthfully. You were practicing in the garden, right? Naruto nodded slowly. Well, and you used the Wind Style Great Breakthrough. Naruto nodded slowly again. I understand, Minato said, as he slowly made his way and stopped. As he saw the portion of the garden destroyed, a huge tree destroying many plants. Naruto-kun, Minato froze as he felt shivers run down his spine. It was the same feeling he got when he first stepped on that plant. What could be described as hilarious for some people, but for Naruto and Minato, it was like seeing a Shinigami, well, on a really bad day. The both of them slowly turned their head as their eyes met with Kushina's red eyes, burning with rage, as she looked at the entire landscape that was completely wiped out now. Minato started to back. Naruto-kun, deactivate your gravity seal this instant and run. Run for your life, he said. Naruto quickly deactivated the seal as he started to run, as Minato saw her coming as he took off as well. Meanwhile, Neji and his son was sparring when Neji stopped. Dad, do you feel that? It's coming from Naruto-san's house. Do you think they're in danger? Maybe we should go and help them. As Neji turned towards his father to see his father trying not to laugh, but he then burst out laughing as he spotted with his Byakugan. Neji-kun, do me a favor. Use your Byakugan to look, and you will understand why I'm like this. As he couldn't even talk anymore because of the laughter, as Neji activated his Byakugan and looked, as he saw the Hokage and Naruto running from what looked like a possessed Kushina, as she was waving a kuna in the air chasing them down. Neji could only laugh as well. Time skip. Back at Namikaze household, after chasing them for so long, she eventually gave up as she went inside. At the moment, as Naruto could be seen lowering himself from a tree, Minato was holding on to his leg. He looked around. I don't see her, he said. As Minato pulled him back up, as Naruto sitting in the tree with his father. Maybe we should wait a while. But she's gone. Yeah, but with her you never... Minato froze as he started talking. Hey Dad, what's... As Naruto screamed when he saw his mother behind him, before his father pushed him out of the tree. As Naruto started to fall. Save yourself, my son, said Minato, as he watched as his father was grabbed and pulled away by his mother. All he could do was flip as he landed on his feet. Dad, he screamed. Save yourself, my son, Minato screamed, as Naruto had no choice but to run away. 2 days later, since Naruto destroyed the garden, surprisingly his mother didn't, well, punish him. She just told him to never practice in the garden ever again, as she had to redo the entire thing, and that would take a while. His father wouldn't tell him what happened, but every time he spoke to his father about it, His father shook a bit, like he was scared, as Naruto never wanted to find out what the hell happened. At the moment, Naruto was making his way towards the ninja shop where he should pick up his things and his outfit. Being the energetic ball he was hopping from rooftop to rooftop. Half the way there, he came to a stop as he saw the academy building over to the side. A big smile split his face. He really just couldn't wait, as he had spoke to his father about it. Since the wind style Detapa was a offensive jutsu, he should probably learn a defensive jutsu as well, C rank. Something like a wind wall or something like that. As Minato gave him some more books, he wanted Naruto to pick his jutsu to arsenal, saying that he wanted to teach Naruto the shuriken clone jutsu. But he wanted Naruto to adapt and pick what he feels comfortable with doing. As Minato wanted his son to ask for help on a certain jutsu, he didn't want to be the one to pick one for Naruto, which he probably wouldn't like. Well, he would like all of them, but he wanted Naruto to understand and to come to him for anything that he need, advice, something like that. As Naruto arrived at the shop, as he saw the girl he saw 2 days ago with the boxes, as she was reading something behind the counter. Upon close inspection, Naruto saw she was reading a book, as it was about shinobi, famous weapons. Not wanting to disturb her, he figured that he would just check her in the store. She would notice a customer and then, well, call out to him. As he turned to see the shinobi weapons on display, the weapons were divided in swords, staff, bow staff, kunais, and shurikens. As he took a wicker sachet, the sword coming out of the holster caught her attention. Oh, hello there, customer-san. What are you interested in? As the girl, known as Tenten, saw the boy, and the way he was holding the sword, she could tell that he didn't have any training with sword. There, I was just admiring this sword here. I came to pick up some clothes I bought 2 days ago. Sorry, I haven't asked about your name. My name is Naruto Namikaze. As Naruto placed back the sword. It's okay, my name is Tenten Makoto. Wait right here, she said. Okay, thanks a lot, he said, as he watched her climb up some stairs to get his packages. As she brought 2 more. There were a lot. If you want to, I can help you carry them to your house. You know, 2 people can carry better than 1, said Tenten, offering help. While Naruto didn't want to become a burden for her, she gave him a great idea. Yes, 2 people are better than 1 for help. Thanks, Tenten-san. That's no problem though. I just need 2 pair of hands to carry them, he said. Multi-shell clone jutsu, as 2 clones poof into existence. As Tenten looked at him, as one of them picked up a bag and the other one picked up a bag, and Naruto picked up one himself. Thanks for the clothes. I'll see you around, okay? Tenten nodded. Yeah, see you. As she watched the 3 of them head off, as she blinked, those weren't normal clones. They had a life of their own, they weren't just illusion. What the hell? And with that, Naruto hopped from rooftop to rooftop, making his way back towards his home. UJ was hopping from rooftop to rooftop as well, as she was currently going towards the training ground where her team was to meet up, as she was still trying to understand the concept of water manipulation. And she went to her father for some help, but what he said to her confused her even more. Flashback. UJ was currently standing on top of the river, as she wanted the water to evaporate. She wanted to learn the first jutsu on the school, water style, rain jutsu. With this jutsu, she could evaporate the water, creating a little cloud, and form rain. But she couldn't even make the water move to her call. While she was trying, her father was passing by and seeing her trying to manipulate water. He did that when he was around her age. As a little memory passed through his head as he smiled. Back then, he was on top of the water trying to manipulate the water ninjutsu. He knew the answer and he knew why she couldn't do it as he sighed. Yujiro-chan, I see you're trying to water ninjutsu, are you? Smiled Mamoru, as his daughter looked quite angry at the moment. Dad, I can't do it, it's really tough. You're a water user as well. Don't you have some points for me? Please. Sweetie, if you want to learn how to manipulate the water, you have to become like the water. Deadly. Below the surface, while calm. On the surface. Remember that if you want to be able to control water ninjutsu. Anyway, your mother called. It's dinner time, come. She stood there, as she was even more confused now. End of flashback. Deadly. Below the surface. Calm. On the surface. What does that mean? As she was hopping, she caught sight of something. 3 people looking the same, carrying bags. On close inspection, she recognized it was Naruto. Seeing that she was early, she decided to have a little chat with the little blonde. Upon arrival, he stopped, as he looked at her with an inquisitive face. Why, are you following me, Yujiro-san? You could just say hello, you know, said Naruto. She mumbled and started to curse his sarcastic attitude. Hello, Naruto-kun, what are you up to, she said. Oh, I'm heading home. I need to drop these bags there, and then I'm going to do some reading on a specific book I have in mind. As he wasn't going to tell her, because next time they spar, he was going to surprise her by using wind ninjutsu. And you, Yujiro-san, how's it going? I'm here to meet my new team. Hey, that new look, it suits you well, she said, as he was wearing black envelope pants with his fishnet shirt and his black shirt over it and his fingerless gloves and his boots. You already look like a Jenny, she said. A small blush came on his face. As she chuckled a bit, he looked so cute. You really think so? He said. Of course. What do you say we have a little spar so I can get warmed up for my mission? I know you can't resist a little challenge. Just name the place, Naruto. Oh, I've been meaning to ask you. How's the gravity seal coming along? I've already adapted to it. Follow me, the time is early. We're going to that train going right there. Say, could you put one more gravity seal on me after a little spar? I want to get stronger and I've already, well, gotten used to this one. How many do you have right now? She asked. I have 4 on me, said Naruto. The 4th one proved to be a challenge. I have to constantly channel talker, but it helps, said Naruto. As you can see, you're already watching one. I told you this thing was addictive. As the both of them made their way towards the training ground. Say, weights on or weight off? Naruto asked as he placed the bags down near a tree as his clones poofed away. I want to test my speed and strength against you. And it wouldn't be fair if you have on 4 gravity seals, while I only had on 1, now would it? Well, I guess it wouldn't. Deactivate, said Naruto. He stumbled a bit, as he was not used to being this light. He bounced around as it took him a moment to get used to it. Yuji released as she cracked her neck, as she felt her muscles release. As she took her sword and got ready for a fight. She saw Naruto pull out 2 kunais as he placed in the X motion. He's adapting them into his fighting style. She won't be the only one that doing the cutting and slicing. Oh, you notice? Well, it's just a theory I want to test. I read in a book that kunai could be used to adapt in my taijutsu style. And since blocking your sword with my arm would be complete nonsense, I plan to use both kunais together. But there's more to it than just kunais. So, get yourself ready, said Naruto as he twisted his leg the slightest, as he readied himself. Well then, let's finish this talk and fight, shall we? She said. As she vanished, she appeared next to him as he brought her sword down, only for Naruto to push himself away, as he pushed off the ground and came right towards her. She brought her blade up as his kunai clashed against him. Spark was sent everywhere. She was surprised as he was pushing her down. He was stronger than last time they fought, but using the height as advantage, she pushed her sword, forced him to jump back as she slashed at him, but he flipped away. As she then spun and came down with her blade once again. But he did something that surprised her. He moved the kunais above his head as her blade clashed against them. But the kunai was turning with some strange energy, as the kunais felt so much stronger than a while ago. Utilizing her distraction to lower his muscles as her blade started to fall, as he went into her midsection and kicked her in the stomach. She flipped as she landed on her feet. She looked up. She wasn't seeing things. His kunai were glowing with some strange white energy as she watched him stab the kunais in the ground as he went through hand sign. Naruto was full of surprise, and she was done underestimating him. She got ready to receive whatever jutsu that he might throw. She knew that he wasn't, well, he was advanced, but he wasn't strong enough to do any high-class ninjutsu yet. So she prepared herself. Well, she would regret that. Wind style. Great wind breakthrough her to scream. The wind force smashed into her, catching her completely off guard. She never expected this, and it was so wide and potent as she was thrown towards the river in the training ground. She really underestimated Naruto, as her head slammed against the water with a bit too much force, disorienting her for a moment as she came down with a splash. As she was not getting up, Naruto rushed over as he dived into the water. Minato did teach him how to swim, as Naruto swam as fast as possible, as he grabbed onto her hand as she was still in a daze as he pulled her with all his strength as he brought her up on top of the grass. Naruto started to panic as he looked around, as he looked at her only for her to cough as she coughed up some water before her eyes slowly opened. As she got up, she remembered Naruto exhaling a huge gust of wind as she rubbed her head. I'm so sorry, I used too much chakra in that technique. Please, forgive me, said Naruto. Naruto, no, you could have died. I'm really sorry, he says. He bowed his head. Instead of protecting others like you wanted, he ended up hurting you, jail. Naruto-kun, why are you apologizing, she said. It was my fault for underestimating your jutsu. But I wanted to become strong to protect others, and I ended up hurting you. You did nothing wrong, you hear? And besides, you saved me, she said. Here, as she kissed him on the cheek. I thank you, she said. Naruto became red. Now tell me, what did you do? Naruto-kun, she said. Oh yeah, said Naruto, snapped out of his gaze. That was wind ninjutsu. I channel wind chakra through the kunais, making them stronger and harder to break. As this jutsu is called wind style, great wind breakthrough. Since my chakra control is not fully good yet, I end up using too much chakra. He still felt a bit shame as she could see him not facing her eyes. Naruto-kun, please look at me, she said. I said you didn't do anything wrong. But still. Alright, she said, you want to make it up to me? Yeah, said Naruto. Alright, you can control your element. Well, I'm having trouble with mine. Help me learn how to use water ninjutsu. I've read the concept, but I don't exactly know how to do it. Do you have any suggestions? No, looking up, Naruto's happy to help her in exchange for what he did to her. Well, elemental ninjutsu is pretty much the same characteristics as the element itself. Take wind for example. In order to feel it, I'll perform a special meditation and I'll listen for the wind traveling through the air and try to feel it. And you said yours is water, right? She nodded. Well, it would be best if you go to the middle of a river and meditate on top of the water surface. Is that your answer to everything? Meditate, she said. As she really didn't want to hear about meditation right now. You asked for suggestions, Yugao-san. But if you don't want to listen to it, fine. I have to take the bags home, Naruto mumbled, as he was a bit angry that she asked for his help, and now she was just throwing it away because she didn't want to meditate. Wait, I'm sorry, Naruto-kun, she said. I didn't mean to offend you at all, please. Now what do I have to do while meditating on top of the water? She smiled as he turned and went into teacher mode. I happened to read once, in order to learn water ninjutsu, you have to become like the water itself, powerful below the surface, and calm on top of the surface. While you meditate on top of the water, try to hear the sound of the water current traveling underneath you. Try to think like you're the water itself. She thought about it. She nodded as she made her way towards the water. Walking on top of it, she channeled chakra. As she then sat down, channeling her chakra, sitting down in a lotus position. Seeing the opportunity, Naruto decided to try water walking. As he made his way, channeling, as he's been working on it before, he tried to make his way towards Yugao. Yugao had her eyes closed though, as she could feel the water current below her, as she was focusing hard. Suddenly, it seems like time just stopped. All she could feel was the water below her, and they hear the currents around her. She tried to focus her chakra towards the water, and guide it upwards. She smiled when she heard a small typhoon building. As she opened her eyes, she saw Naruto standing there smiling. It seemed my suggestion worked at all, Yugao-san. Don't you agree? As he smiled, she looked at him, once again with his smart-ass attitude. He probably even knew that he was doing it. But seeing him smile, she started to smile as well. It seems so, Naruto-kun, she said. Thank you, I appreciate it. Oh damn it, she said. I'm 20 minutes late. I have to go, okay? Yeah, see ya, said Naruto as he made his way towards the bags. She turned as she watched him go, before leaping off towards her training ground. Meanwhile, Genma and Kurina were wondering where Yugao was. She was never late. She was always the one that got here first on time, as their sensei was already there for 40 minutes now. Just when they thought of looking for her, well, 20 minutes passed. She arrived, apologizing for being so late. As she told them what happened, it made them start to think about the whole ordeal. If she just saw him as a rival, she felt the long, awkward silence. Hey, he's a really cute kid, but we're only rivals, she said. On our fight, he launched me away with a wind style ninjutsu. I was distracted. I got dazzled for a little while, okay? He saved me, and being the smart kid he is, I asked him for help in elemental nature. Decided to leave it at that. Team 2 went to Hokage to get some missions. They have been training hard since, because the Chunin exams are going to be held in 2 months. Every one of them were ecstatic to upgrade to Chunin, and Aoba could see their progress. Meanwhile, making his way home, Naruto saw his mother and father having lunch together, as he decided to leave them some time alone for themselves. As he made his way upstairs, after all, he had his reading to do. As he started to read, as he went through the book, he came upon something that he really wanted to learn. Wind style, wind barrier jutsu, C rank. The creator created a wind barrier that pushed away every jutsu that came towards it, except for fire attacks, which, in contact, there's a huge explosion and sends wind, intensify the flames. Well, since most of the people here is fire offended, it wouldn't be wise to use against them. But it would be good against other attacks. Focus, as Naruto read it. Focus wind chakra through both hands, swinging one clockwise and anti-clockwise. Not wasting any further, Naruto made his way, this time not at the garden, over to the other side that is far from his mother, re-established garden. After that, he closed his eyes. According to the book, the chakra must be equal, so he started to focus on his hands. While he was trying, as Minato and Kushina stepped out on the balcony and decided to just watch the young prodigy, they were eager to see what their son had came up with now. Kushina never saw Naruto perform the wind jutsu. The only thing she saw was destruction. Minato-kun, just what is Naruto-kun doing right now? Is it wind ninjutsu? How could he learn something so complex, she asked. Kushina was a stranger to strong battle jutsus. After all, she was a medic before she had Naruto, and she had a little retirement, well, only until Naruto was fit to handle himself, and she would come back to the hospital, as she was only second to Tsunade when it comes to medical ninjutsu on the field. Kushina-chan, Naruto can learn on his own. According to him, he said that he bought a book that he has been going through that he's been teaching him. You saw the results of his Minato pause. Of his what, said Kushina. Well, I told him to learn a defensive jutsu instead of an offensive one, said Minato, trying not to bring up the garden destruction. As they watched your son did the 5th draft jutsu but to no avail. He was waving his hands in the opposite rotation but nothing come out of it. As they saw him took another deep breath. He then exhaled. As his eyes snapped open, 2 typhoons appeared beside Naruto, protecting him. As a force of the wind started to blow everything away, Kushina was wide-eyed by the force. The both of them had the challenge chakra to their feet to hold on to the ground, as Naruto kept the typhoon spinning for a while, until suddenly it ramped up, as the pressure and the force started to get even stronger. As Naruto was smiling as he was doing it, before he finally released it. He released a breath and he looked forward to see his mother and father, with their hair all messed up. He did what his father always did. He placed a hand behind the back of his head and started to laugh. Oh, sorry dear, he said, laughing nervously. I didn't know that you guys would be out here. The both of them came over, son. I've seen many sand ninjas perform the technique, but I never see them intensify it. You have quite definitive for a win. I still need more chakra control exercises, said Naruto, if I manage to master the water walking completely. As Naruto remembered when he was walking towards Yugao, his feet was a bit sturdy and sometimes they got wet, because he couldn't fully walk on it perfectly. Then he can go towards the wind chakra control exercises. But his parents didn't think that would be wise right now. He really needs some time off. Naruto-kun, wait for the water walking exercise to be complete until the first year of the academy, okay? Practice some physical skills, get stronger, more stamina, and enhance your chakra capacity. Try to not overexert yourself with elemental ninjutsu. I promise you, by the time the first year of the academy, you'll be able to do B-rank ninjutsus. B-rank? Said Naruto. Minato smiled as he ruffled his son hair. Really? With the pace you are right now, after some time in the academy, you will sure learn many tough jutsus, he said. As that made Naruto smile, until his stomach grumbled, as Kushina started to giggle. Say, son, said Minato, what do you say about a ramen contest? Really? Said Naruto, with a smile on his face. You want to race that? Naruto asked. You want to race your old man, said Minato, as he smirked at his son, as Naruto nodded. Well then, Kushina, as he gestured for her to come, so he can flash her there. No, she said. What do you mean no? I'll take my time, you guys can go ahead. Alright mom, said Naruto, can you set this off? As she nodded. Ready? Set. Go! Wind style body flicker jutsu, Naruto says he was gone. As Minato simply smirked. You sure, he said as he held out his hand towards Kushina. You can race your son, she said. Go on, have fun. He nodded as he was gone in a yellow flash. Kushina simply smiled. He was growing up so much like his father, and she was happy. Time skip as Naruto arrived outside the ramen stand as he looked around. His father wasn't here yet. A big smile spread across his face. He made it before him, as that made Naruto smile even more as he looked around. The moment he stepped inside though, oh, and why are you smiling, Naruto-kun? Naruto saw his father sitting down on one of the stools smiling. When did you... Naruto sighed. Well, there's a reason why he's the fastest man in the world after all. After a good 30 minutes, both of them were large, as they ate so much ramen they couldn't even move. As Kakashi was passing by, as he saw father and son, both of them rather large, from inhaling so much ramen as they had passed out, he chuckled to himself, like father like son. Time skip. It was now the academy day, the first day, as Naruto woke up, excited. He has been training a lot in the past days. He now had 5 seals on him, 5 gravity seals, and he was now able to fight 5 clones at once, during his morning preparations, shower, breakfast, change of clothes. And with that he headed out, as he made his way from rooftop to rooftop. As he arrived towards the academy, by now he couldn't contain himself and he was trembling with excitement. As he entered, he saw a list on a board. It was a classroom list. Upon inspection, Naruto saw his name, as he saw Neji and Tenten's name as well. They were going to be in the same class. Asking for directions, he climbed some stairs. As he arrived in front of the designated classroom, he slowly slid the door open. He saw two people inside, as it was a man and a woman standing there talking. They were rather close to each other, almost whispering as they were so close, as they were blushing. The guy seemed to be a chunin because of this, and he had a vertical scar on top of his nose. The woman was wearing a trench coat, as her clothing looked quite risky, as Naruto was just standing there watching them, when the girl suddenly turned, as it was none other than Uncle Mirashi. As she stopped, seeing the blonde watching them turn to talk to each other, Haruka also turned, as he knew this was a Hokage's son. "I am so sorry, Naruto-sama. I never knew that you were there. I apologize," Haruka said, bowing. Naruto sighed. He knew that this would happen, given who his father was. As Uncle looked down at Haruka, she saw the look on the blonde's face. It seems like he was really pissed off at this. "Please, do not treat me like I'm the Hokage because I'm not. I hate when people show favoritism to me because of my father. If you are this class teacher, I request you treat me like everyone else, no more, no less. So it seems I arrived early. If none of you would mind, I'll be taking a seat and wait," he said. Uncle was smiling. At least the kids show a humble display. Naruto picked a chair in the third row on the left. Since he already learned the water walking, but he never mastered it, he wanted to learn about the next step of wind jutsu now, as he was going to start reading about that, cutting a leaf. Uncle seeing him flipping the page, he remembered what Yugao said about him, and what he accomplished so far, as she was amazed to hear about the gravity seal, and how much it helped Yugao chakra capacity advance. She made her way over. "So tell me, kid, you're Yugao's rival, right?" As she sat down beside the boy. "Oh, you know Yugao-san? Yes, we're rivals. She's very good at Kinjutsu. Every time we spar, she wins. Well, there was this one time I win, but it's just because you underestimated me too much. But if she was here, she could really defeat me quite quickly." "Are you her friend?" Naruto asked. "Yeah," said Uncle. "Can you answer my question? Why did she beat me?" Naruto asked. "Well, from what I heard, you're quite the adversary. She told me that you send her flying with your jutsu. You're being too modest. Trust me, she isn't the one that wastes time with people that are weak. She's the daughter of a legendary, unveiled swordsman after all. So, what are you reading?" As Uncle tried to touch the book, picking it up, it closed on its own. What the hell? Naruto took it back as it opened. "Sorry, it's a wind style ninjutsu book. It only responds to people that have wind affinity," said Naruto. "I heard that you're a wind user. Do you have any others?" she asks. "I heard that you're quite, well, genius in other regards as well." "I don't really know," said Naruto. "Haruka, give me one of those affinity paper of yours. I want to test something," said Uncle. "Thank you, Haruka," she said. She got the paper. "What are you talking about? Me? Have more than one affinity? Lady, I'm only 6, said Naruto. A Jonin will have to have 2 affinity to pass Jonin exams. I'm just starting academy today, said Naruto. "We'll see about that," she said. "Don't worry, this isn't some favoritism or something like that. The new academy schedule is like that. We'll be checking affinities to see what their affinities are, to help them develop techniques in that department." Anyway, the Hokage will come and explain in further detail. "So here, chant chakra into this," she said. "Okay then," said Naruto, "but I can tell you, the paper would only split in half. I only have 1 affinity." Haruka stood there as he was about to write down the affinity that Naruto had. The kid was pretty sure that it was win, so he was going to write down win. The paper split in half, 2 Naruto words. But it was then it happened. The 2 sides of the paper crumbled, showing that Naruto also had light and affinity. Naruto blinked in surprise. The book he read said that only Chunin left can have 2 affinity. Uncle had a smile on her face. Haruka knew that smile. "Kid, right now you have my attention. You can call me Uncle Sensei. The scar guy here is Haruka Sensei. We are going to be teacher for the class. The students are coming in, and the Hokage will be here soon to explain. So for now, all you have to do is wait," she said. Neji arrived along with the other students as Neji went over to sit beside Naruto. Naruto was deep in thought as he thought that he only had win because the book just opened for him. He never thought that he actually had 2. All this time he could have been working on the other one. He could already have been practicing light and affinity. Damn it! He felt like he wasted so much time as someone else came and sit down as well. As it was at 3, bench row. He heard his name as he turned. "Oh, hi Neji, sorry dear, I was lost in thoughts." Tenten was sitting there as well. "How have you been?" Naruto asked, as he still was thinking that he wastes all of his time just looking at wind alone and not even looking up lightning at all. "I've been fine, except for this girl here that keep on following me around. She's been quite annoying if you ask me," said Neji. "You're here early. I went by your house to know that you're already here. Seems like you were eager. I can't wait for an next spar. I want to show you some moves I learned from my father." As Tenten was scolding now, she was having a crush on the Hyuga project, but he kept on saying these rude things. Like just now, he called her annoying. "Don't worry, Neji. I got some tricks as well. We will soon see whose skills are better," said Naruto. Now Tenten, I see you joined the academy as well. That's nice. I wanted to join last year, but my father convinced me to join this year. Something about taking it slow. Anyway, it seems that those two at the front must be our senseis then. As Naruto nodded. Yeah, I was introduced to them since I came earlier. That man is called Aruka, and that one is Uncle, said Naruto. They are the sensei of this class. They say that my father would come and explain some new academy rules. I wonder what those are. As he got that when his father suddenly flashed inside. Show off, said Naruto. As Minato greeted all of them, as all of them greeted Hokage-sama. As Minato saw that Naruto also called Hokage-sama. He knew that Naruto wanted to be acknowledged for his skills, not because he was the son of Hokage. Minato decided to go over new academy settings. So let us begin, since I must talk with the class in front of yours. All the new academy students are the first of a new and improved academy. Now the new academy will involve a 4-year period, instead of the 6th year like before. The reason is simple. Back then, 2 years were mainly focused on Konoha history, and some introductions like chakra notion and chakra molding, with 2 years of basic shinobi skills and taijutsu and weapon practice, followed with a year with D rank ninjutsu, and last one to go over what was learned through the course. Now this time it's going to be 1 year of history and introduction, 1 year of physical, taijutsu, exercises and practice, followed by 1 year to E to C rank ninjutsus. On the 4th year it will be elemental ninjutsu class. The theory would be explained along the course, and every 6 months your sensei will check your affinity in order to see the chakra affinity until the last year comes. Once we find one of you have an affinity already, we will divide the class into your respective affinity. Now on weekends you'll be doing some D rank missions, which are basically low level duty to the village. This will be in order to test some teamwork between you guys. So we're going to be gathering teams of 3 to see who work better with who. The reason for this, when you graduate, each team will have a Jonin sensei with 3 members. Now, that's all. Any questions? He asks. A female student raised her hand as Minato turned towards her with a nod. Hokage-sama, what would happen if anyone, by the end of the 3rd year, do not have an elemental affinity? Well, if that happens, and sometimes it does, we will be given extra training so he or she can manifestate one affinity. Do not worry guys, your senseis will explain better, but each shinobi has one type of affinity. There are some that are born with 2 affinity, but everyone has a certain affinity. As Aruka whispers something to Minato, as Minato's eyes widen for a moment. Well, that's all Minato said. Good luck to everyone. As he vanished in a little flash. Damn, Chi turned to mumble, as he won the race by using that jutsu. After Minato was gone, Aruka greeted the class. Aruka was going to be the theory teacher, and Uncle would be the practice teacher. First year, chakra introduction, hand signs, and molding chakra. Second year, Uncle would pretty much take them outside every single day to teach them how to throw kunais and shurikens, train them how to fight in taijutsu as well, the academy style, except for those who have their family fighting style. On the 3rd year, they will be learning jutsu, theories, and jutsu practice. On the 4th year, they will be separated into 5 groups, since there were 5 affinities, and each class will be taught by a jonin, according to the affinity. As Naruto was going to ask them about, well, how he would work out, since he had 2 of them. Since the first day was just introduction, after everything was done, everyone was dismissed. As Naruto stayed behind, Uncle Sensei, Aruka Sensei, if the class will be divided into 5 groups, what about me? As Aruka said that Naruto will have to be in 2 places at once. Both Naruto and Uncle switched up. They were hoping for a valued answer. Great, said Naruto. Now I have to work more with Shaolin Jutsus. Say, he was cut off as he saw 2 of them looking at him strangely. Naruto, what did you just say about Shaolin Jutsus? Surely you can't do something like that. You're only an academy student. And that is a Jonin level technique, Aruka said. He just decided to show them. Shaolin Jutsu, said Naruto, as a clone proof of their existence. So, don't believe me yet, said Naruto. The both of them had to rub their eyes. He was just 6, right? How the hell was he doing this? As Naruto made his way home after the day, he felt sad. Normally, he would be happy to learn that he have another affinity, but he spent so much time not even considering lightning at all. He thought that Wind was his own affinity. Minato came home to congratulate Naruto, as he heard what Aruka said, as he couldn't believe Naruto has 2 affinities at his age. As he arrived, the room door was open, as Naruto seemed to be deep in thought. He thought that Naruto would be overjoyed to know they have another affinity. Naruto-gun, are you okay? Is something bothering you? Oh, Dad. I'm guessing that my sensei told you, said Naruto. Minato nodded. Well, I'm in a mixture between happy and sad. Happy, of course, that I have another affinity, but sad that I didn't know about it, because I could have been already learning about it. It feels like a big waste of time. Naruto-kun, stop that right now. Don't think you're wasting time. Remember, you're only 6 years old. You are strong, I assure you, but if you continue like this, to put things like these on your head, you will surely go crazy. Please try to make your body and mind adjust to the experience. If you push yourself too much thinking about things like these, you become unstable. By slowing down a bit, you can adjust. And not to mention you have so much more time to learn anything about lightning. You don't have to worry, said Minato. And it's not like you're on your own. You have many teachers and also me to help you with any question that you might have. Thanks, Dad, said Naruto. I appreciate it. Minato smiled as your face here. Get some rest, he said. Time skip. 1 year later. As Naruto was now at the second year of the academy, his skills were greatly improving. After his conversation with his father, Naruto vowed to train once each 3 days outside the academy, and he was making a steady progress. He was able to fight a clone on top of a water surface now for a whole hour without stopping. By now he cut leaf already, and he already learned one wind style jutsu that was, well, there for cutting through objects, as he could create a arrow made from pure wind and shot it towards an opponent. At the academy, as Naruto aced his final test for the year, which were about some historical facts around Konoha history, as he was a second in the class, only losing to a redhead girl, which was, well, seeming to be some kind of scientist or something like that. But otherwise than that, the academy was fun, as Uncle had fallen asleep when Aruka was giving his lectures, just to show how boring they was. On weekends, his teamwork with Neji and Tenten, yes, they were a team together, were becoming exceptionally good. Neji, the close-range fighter, Naruto, the mid-range fighter, and Tenten, the long-range distant fighter, as she had Kinjutsu, and also Fire Feint as well. Outside the academy, Naruto and Yugao fought almost once a week. As they passed the exam, she, Genman, Kurna, and they became Chunins. Because of this sport, she was able to integrate her water affinity into her fighting style, making it worse than deadly now. And Naruto has gotten so much more faster, using the wind into his kunais as he was able to literally slice through water attacks sometime. Yugao evolved to the 3, Gravity Seal, and Naruto was on 6. From time to time, they start to do other things as well, going to the library to pick up books, not to mention she met Naruto's mother, seeing that she came over for a training practice one day. But the more he grew, the more she teased him on certain things. As you remember, flashback, as the both of them were currently practicing with their gravity seals off. They were fighting when Naruto lost his footing, as he ended up falling right on top of her, what people could call a third base position. Yugao being the teasing master she was, she just couldn't let this opportunity pass. Wow, Naruto-kun, I didn't know you have in you to do something like this. Next time, give me a warning, okay? Naruto leaped back in embarrassment, blushing red. I'm sorry, I kind of lost my footing back there, and as he started to stammer, she burst out laughing, as Naruto realized that she was messing with him, as he poked it a bit. End of flashback. Right now, he was practicing with kunais and shurikens. The rest of the class was confused and Naruto's target wasn't hitting the tree, while his team knew what was going on, as Naruto, kunais and shurikens were passing through it. It was splitting through the target, as he was adding wind chakra into his throw, and into his weapon. Another year passed as Naruto passed the other exam. Minato was currently looking at the written report. In the academy, only 5 students had, well, dropped out. He just couldn't keep up with the rhythm, as he was looking at the chart, as there had been some select favorites, well, for the class, for what they could do. Neji was on top with his taijutsu when it comes to his Ryugen strikes. Tenten was the best at weapons, and Naruto was the best at ninjutsu. These 3 show promises as a genuine team. All of the classmates had discovered affinity. 3 of them had 2, Naruto with lightning and wind. Another kid, Hirama Fujikage, had fire and earth, and Mokoko Uchiha had fire and water. As Minato knew that Naruto would be focusing all on lightning now. On Naruto's 8th birthday, as Asuma had gave him trench knife similar to his own, so that he could run wind chakra through them, as Naruto could rival any Sand Chunin whose wind ability now. That was how powerful his wind ability has become. The kunais that Naruto always used couldn't take too much before they rotten or rust, seeing that he was using too much wind chakra into them. But the ones that Asuma gave him could take as much. As Naruto also learned a quite deadly jutsu, wind sword jutsu, that he could use to literally slice trees in half. Needless to say, the boy was growing at an incredible rate, and he doesn't look like he's slowing down anytime soon. But guys, it'll be ending this episode right here. For the next part, be sure to do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notifications they posted. And remember to stay tuned for the new episodes coming over on Anime King and Anime King 3. I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. But yeah, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.